to expose them to legislative practice and procedures as the inauguration of the 10th Assembly draws near. Some of the topics being treated are constitutional mandate, structure and operations, powers of the Nigerian legislature, and parliamentary immunities, among others. The session is being held in two phases, with both senators and House members-elect participating. The induction held after each election cycle is being organized by management of the National Assembly, National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Policy and Advocacy Legislative Center.
Wonderfully to enhance peace and security and the development of this country.
Begin to learn the rudiments of legislation, the rudiment of legislative proceedings, right from the sitting, even from the sitting arrangement. How do you get to the chambers? What do you do when you get there? When a motion is to be moved, how do you do that? So you will expect these new members taking a very good advantage of this training.
The Presidential Election Petition Court has struck out the petition filed by Action Alliance challenging the election of Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress. This followed the motion for withdrawal filed by the parties. Austin Anyebe reports.
The Presidential Election Petition Court, before its inaugural sitting in Abuja, had 5 petitions to adjudicate on. However, upon commencement of pre-hearing conference, Counsel to Action Alliance, Madubuchi, moved a motion for withdrawal of their petition, which was not opposed by any of the respondents, and subsequently struck out. The other 2 petitions held by the panel of 5 justices, led by the presiding justice of Abuja Division, Justice Haruna Simon Samani, include that of the Action People's Party and Peter Gregory Obi and Labour Party, all the petitioners challenging the outcome of the February 25th presidential election, which produced Bola Tinubu as the president-elect. Both counsel to the petitioners and the respondents told the court that answers have been provided to the questions posed to them in a pre-hearing form which they adopted. The 5-man panel of justices, led by Justice Haruna Sabani, who earlier tasked counsel on speedy adjudication on the petitions, adjourned Wednesday, 10th May 2023 for further pre-hearing of the petitions by the Action People's Party and Labour Party, while petitions by Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party and Allied People's Movement will be heard Tuesday, 9th May 2023.
The pre-trial hearing is expected to last for 2 weeks, after which the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal will issue a report which will guide the subsequent proceedings.
The court has 180 days from the date of announcement of the winner of the presidential election to adjudicate over all the petitions. From the Court of Appeal, Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NT News.
The federal government has concluded the evacuation of stranded Nigerians from Aswan International Airport, Egypt. Musa Baba Ali reports that 1,116 Nigerians have been evacuated from the Egyptian border.
The plights of Nigerians stranded at the Egyptian border with Sudan have been a major challenge to the federal government. Today, all the stranded Nigerians at the border have been successfully rescued and airlifted back to Nigeria.
One nation bounding freedom, peace and unity.
So all of them have been fully returned back home. I can declare that there is nobody at the moment in the Egyptian side. Everybody that remains are still on the Port Sudan axis. So this is a very important milestone for us.
Coming from a war zone, they have immediate, needs addressed, like their food. They'll be transported to the airports. We have staff going to check them in if they need that service. And any other thing that they may need, like a voluntary return would require, because all the services are voluntary, but they're available.
Prosper Okosun is one of the returnees. He said without government intervention, many of them would have not survived the war in Sudan.
We were running out of food. The water supply was, electricity was cut off, so water supply and no gas and everything.
Unfortunately, seriously, that was the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life. and I don't wish to ever come across something like that ever again.
The National Emergency Management Agency said small and big aircraft will be deployed to evacuate the remaining Nigerians in Port Sudan, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, and Chad.
So we have Taco Air is going to use a bigger aircraft with a 500 capacity. Air Peace will do back-to-back of 270 times 2, which is 540. So we're very hopeful. I believe in the next 2 or 3 days, everything will be over.
The federal government has disbursed more than $120 million for the evacuation program, while Air Peace, Max Air, Azman, and Taco Airlines are providing free services in evacuating the stranded Nigerians from the war zone. From Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Lagos Channel 10 News at 7. We'll go for this short break. The news continues after this time out. Stay with us.
It's Motonic time. Motonic time. It's Mauritius to the last drop till it drains in.
Maltonic is enriched with vitamins and minerals for that rush of vitality you need to reach greatness.
It's Maltonic time.
Thanks for joining us on News at 7. When a customer operates an account and shares in the profit made by his bank at the end of a fiscal year, this is a sure way to boosting financial inclusion and economic well-being of any given society where this type of financial system operates. This was the submission of scholars at a one-day seminar organized on Islamic finance and insurance by the Muslim community in Lagos. The report. This Islamic gathering stems from one of the responsibilities placed on Muslim faithful to engage in lawful financial transactions in accordance with Islamic injunctions.
Do not allow Shaitan to...
Scholars took turns to educate the faithful on symbiotic benefits of Islamic banking, which is a branch of Sharia-compliant finance.
Interest is injustice. But Muslims are the only ones who will stand their ground and say that no, it is that halal we want.
Funding of our infrastructures through the Federal Ministry of Works. They were using sukuk. You understand? So what we want the incoming government to do is to further strengthen those departments so that this country can benefit from other beneficial non-interest instruments.
In Lotus, we don't charge what they call maintenance fee. We don't charge COT. So you are banking for free, practically, whether it is savings account or current account.
Lagos State government is interested in exploring the non-interest financial system. So, the Deputy Governor, Abafemi Hamzat, was represented at the forum.
It's of benefit not only to the government, but also to the entire citizenry of Lagos State. It's also of benefit to the downtrodden people in the society.
Participants react to the knowledge gained on Islamic finance.
I have learned today. I've been hearing Takafu. Somebody has told me that it's an insurance organization that is as good as the other insurance companies.
I have learned a lot. Question of the Takafu, question of saying everything. So we want to say kudos to the Muslim community of Lagos State.
I am learning about the insurance, the Takafu, now, and I'm going to think about it and see how I can comply.
The theme of the seminar is Islamic banking, finance, and insurance, opportunities and challenges.
What has inspired the topic for today is a concern to help improve our economy in Nigeria generally. Our economy needs to improve, and can only improve when all of us key into it.
There was an opportunity for participants to open accounts with non-interest Islamic banks available at the forum in Lagos. The Deaf Women Association of Nigeria Lagos State Chapter says the creation of a more inclusive digital world that benefits all women, including those living with disabilities, is key to promoting gender equality. The This advocacy was made at the 2023 International Women's Day celebration and empowerment held at Wesley School for the Hearing Impaired in Lagos.
As the world continues to advance in technology, it is imperative that women, including those living with disabilities, are given access to technology and gain the necessary skills to thrive in the digital economy. To this end, stakeholders at the International Women's Day celebration organized by the Deaf Association of Women in Nigeria encouraged the hearing impaired women to build and elevate themselves by embracing technology and innovation.
Right now, technology makes it easy, for us to access information, for us to access any kind of training whatsoever. And so for women living with disabilities, this is a great opportunity for them to be empowered, with knowledge, with key competencies.
They should know what they want and go for it. They should stand firm and ask for their rights. If they are denied, they should have confidence. They should have good education. They should be outspoken to say what they want and what they don't want.
With the theme of this year's event, Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality, bridging the gap and ensuring that women are given equal rights and opportunities should be prioritized.
When we have a solution mindset that sees challenges as opportunities, there's no limit to how far we can go, and technology is an enabler that helps to level that field across gender barriers and disability too.
An empowerment lecture, drama piece by Dwan Theatre Group, and presentation of awards to dignitaries were part of activities for the day. The Deaf Women Association of Nigeria, DWAN, is a non-governmental organization for the support and advocacy of women with hearing impairment. In Lagos, S.A. Onwamaka, NT News.
Let's now talk some sports. The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has assured the victorious Team Nigeria that represented the nation at the just concluded CAA Under-18 and Under-20 Championships in Ndola, Zambia, of proper grooming and monitoring ahead of future competitions. The minister gave the assurances while receiving the officials and athletes to the championship at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos amidst pomp and pageantry. Kehinde Lamidi was there and files this report.
Athletes and officials who represented Nigeria at the Junior African Athletics Championship were received at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport on Saturday afternoon to a rousing welcome by the members of the supporters club with singing and dancing. While welcoming the athletes and officials in the country, the sports minister congratulated them for their wonderful performance at the 8th Championship, saying that they have surpassed the performance of the last edition of the competition in Cote d'Ivoire 4 years ago, where Team Nigeria finished third, as the current team finished second behind South Africa, despite going with lesser athletes. Sunday Dare, on behalf of the President, Muhammadu Buhari, and the President-elect, Bola Tinubu, who he described as lovers of sports, appreciated the athletes for doing nation proud.
These two men are our fathers. They are lovers of sport, but they also love the youth. So let me congratulate you on their behalf.
And lauded the performance of the technical team, an action that shows that the grassroots developmental program is working, and who should take the credit, not the ministry. But the AFN of Nigeria board, led by the president, Tono Boko Kowa, and the grandfather of athletics, Solomon Ogba.
And the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the federal government will sit down with the AFN. We will see how we can make sure we keep this team. I'm sure some of you will eventually go through the qualifiers and go to France 2024.
Some of the officials and athletes spoke with NTA Sports. Team Nigeria was represented by 41 athletes, winning 36 medals, 17 gold, 10 silver, and 9 bronze medals to place second in the championship in Zambia. In Lagos, it's been Kehinde Lamidi reporting for NTA Sports.
On that sporting note, we wrap up the English segment of the news for today. Up next is Yoruba translation with Benga Olede. Many thanks for watching. I am Musa Toliak.
Ẹ kú àṣálẹ́, ẹ sì kú dédé àsìkò yìí. Àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn ló ń dé sí etí ìgbọ̀yìn láti iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Gbẹ̀ngà Olóyèdè ni oníròyìn, ìròyìn rèé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Ètò ọlọ́sẹ̀ púpọ̀ ìfòkùnkùn agbára ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ fún ti tàwọn sínétọ̀ tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yàn fún ti ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ilé-ìgbìmọ̀ àpapọ̀ kẹwàá irú rẹ̀ ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọ̀hún ni yóò túbọ̀ fi wọ́n hàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣòfin láti mọ ìlànà tó tọ́ àti èyí tó yẹ ní ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí bí ètò ayẹyẹ àgbàwọlé ti tàwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àpapọ̀ ṣe súnmẹ́tílé. Nínú àwọn àkòrí ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tí wọ́n gbé síwájú àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ náà ni a ti rí àwọn àtúnṣe ìlànà òfin, àwọn àṣẹ àti àwọn iṣẹ́ ṣíṣe wọn, agbára tàwọn aṣòfin orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà àti àwọn ètò àjẹsára tí wọ́n pè ní immunity ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì àti àwọn ìyókù tí wọn kò dárúkọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ètò náà ló jẹ́ ọ̀kan nínú èyí tó wáyé nípele àkọ́kọ́ àti ìpele kejì pẹ̀lú àwọn sínétọ̀ àti àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ni wọ́n jẹ́ akópa níbi ètò náà. Ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ti parí ṣíṣílọ tàwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí ìdààmú dé bá kúrò ní pápá ọkọ̀ òfurufú ti Aswan ti orílẹ̀-èdè Egypt. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Musa Baba Aliyu tó mú ìròyìn wá sọ wípé 116 tàwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n ti kó kúrò ní ibodè orílẹ̀-èdè Egypt. Ní ìgbà tí oníbàárà bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ tí ó sì ń ṣe àmúlò àpò ìfowópamọ́ pẹ̀lú níní ìpín nínú èrè owó gbígbà nínú báǹkì ìfowópamọ́ rẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ìparí ọdún, èyí ló jẹ́ ọ̀nà kan pàtàkì fífi òkùnkùn agbára ètò ìnáwó àti owó ìṣòwò àti ìmójútó àlàáfíà irúbi àwùjọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tí irú ìlànà iṣẹ́ ṣíṣe ìnáwó ọ̀hún gbé ń ṣiṣẹ́. Gbólóhùn ọ̀rọ̀ náà ló jẹ́ ọ̀kan pàtàkì níbi ètò àpérò ọlọ́jọ́ kan tàwọn ọ̀mọ̀wé ẹlẹ́sìn Islam lórí ètò ìnáwó àti ìṣèdúró èyí tí àwọn múmìnì àwùjọ ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ṣolùgbọ́wọ́ rẹ̀. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Musa Tuliat tó mú ìròyìn wá sọ wípé ètò ìpéjọpọ̀ tàwọn ìlànà tàwọn ẹlẹ́sìn Islam ló jẹ́ ọ̀kan gbòógì nínú ìṣojúṣe ààyè tí wọ́n gbé ka àwọn múmìnì òdodo lọ́wọ́ láti jẹ́ akópa nínú ìlànà òfin ìnáwó àti ìdúnàdúrà pẹ̀lú ìbámu ti ìlànà ẹ̀sìn Islam. Àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n onímọ̀ ẹ̀sìn Islam ni wọ́n lo àsìkò náà la àwọn múmìnì òdodo lọ́yẹ̀ lórí àmì àti àǹfààní tó ń bẹ nínú báǹkì ìfowópamọ́ tó jẹ́ ti ẹlẹ́sìn Islam tó jẹ́ ọ̀kan òfin Sharia fún ti ìnáwó ìfaramọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìṣèjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ni wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ láti ṣàwárí àwọn ẹ̀ka ìṣòwò òwò tí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ irúbi ìlànà náà èyí tí wọ́n ṣaṣojú fún igbákejì gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó Ọbáfẹ́mi Hamzat níbi àpérò náà. Bí ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé gbogbo àwọn olùkópa lọ́kùnrin àti lóbìnrin ni wọ́n sọ púpọ̀ lọ́rọ̀ lórí àwọn ọgbọ́n ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n rí gbà níbi ètò ìṣúná tàwọn ẹ̀ka Islam ọ̀hún. Ètò àpérò náà ni wọ́n pe àkórí rẹ̀ ní báǹkì Islam ìṣúná àti ìṣèdúró ọ̀pọ̀ àǹfààní àti ìdojúkọ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀pọ̀ ààyè ló ṣí sílẹ̀ fún àwọn olùkópa láti ṣí àpò ìfowópamọ́ pẹ̀lú báǹkì ti Islam níbi àpérò náà. Àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ lóbìnrin tí wọ́n ní ìpèníjà etí ti orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ẹ̀ka tìpínlẹ̀ Èkó sọ wípé gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀dá tí wọ́n jùmọ̀ papọ̀ lágbàáyé lóbìnrin tí wọ́n jẹ nínú àwọn àǹfààní láti dá tàwọn ènìyàn tí wọn kò ní ìdápé ìlera tí ẹ̀yà ara pèníjà ni wọ́n jẹ́ ọ̀kan gbòǹgbò fún ìgbéga fún àwọn ààbò. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kíképè fún jíjẹ́ alágbàwí fún àwọn ẹ̀dá ọ̀hún ló jẹ́ ọ̀kan pàtàkì nínú ètò ayẹyẹ àyájọ́ tàwọn obìnrin àgbáyé àti fún ìrónilágbára wọn èyí tí wọ́n ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ètò náà ní iléèwé Wesley School for the Hearing Impaired tó ń bẹ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Akọ̀ròyìn wa tó mú ìròyìn wá sọ wípé bí àgbáyé ṣe ń tẹ̀síwájú láti máa ṣàmúlò ohun èlò tìgbàlódé èyí ló mú kí ó ṣe pàtàkì kí àwọn obìnrin tí wọ́n ní ìpèníjà ní àǹfààní sí ètò ohun èlò tìgbàlódé. Bákan náà kí wọ́n tún ní àǹfààní ètò iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ tí yóò jẹ́ atọ́nà fún ètò okòwò tìgbàlódé. Ní pàtàkì jùlọ ló mú àwọn alẹ́nulọ́rọ̀ níbi ètò ayẹyẹ tàwọn obìnrin àgbáyé èyí tí ẹ̀ka tàwọn obìnrin adití orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà gba àwọn ẹ̀dá tí wọ́n ní ìpèníjà náà lámọ̀ràn láti túbọ̀ gbé sókè ara wọn nípa fífààyè gba ìlànà ètò tìgbàlódé fún ti ọdún yìí. Tọ́ àsùnjí lórúkọ àṣálẹ́ ìní Gbẹ̀ngà Olóyèdè ń kí yín èrè o.
Thank you.